What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today I will be doing a technical analysis breakdown for strategy B with the ticker symbol MSTR. I will first be going over what I see in the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Please trade at your own risk. So let's take a look at what happened yesterday for MSTR. Well, it did gap down lower and close slightly neutral. As you can see, the candlestick is a doji. It represents indecision in the market. So we still see that the price is dropping. Price gap down on the Friday open, traded slightly higher, traded slightly lower, but closed right in the middle, showing indecision of direction. So we can draw a trend line across the candles, and still there is this downtrend in play. Is it coming to an end soon? Well, let's see about that. It looks like the selling pressure could be waning a little bit, but it's not over yet. There was this bullish trend line in play, and we did slightly break it. You can see that there was the gap down right through that level. So I'm pretty sure the trend line fits right here. We can still recover the bullish trend line, but if it continues trending down lower, I'll be looking for probably the 360s. That's where the next strong support is at. You can see that's where price reversed previously. So maybe it's going to come back down here. I would not like to see that as a bull, but it's not the end of the world. I'm looking for price to reverse immediately and recover that trend line. But it wouldn't be the end of the world if it doesn't. We have one leg up right here, second leg up, and the measure move target is at 550, right around that level. Is it guaranteed we get there? No, it's not, but that is the target that the bulls are holding for. So you can just imagine that, traders who enter long, they want to get out at certain levels. They're not just random numbers. They want to look at historical prices. What's a good level to get at? Well, maybe the all-time highs would be a good level to get at, for a couple week or couple month trade. So they look at certain levels on the chart, and all-time high is the obvious level, and then the next level would be a measure move target. If the price moved up this much previously, there's a good chance it can move up the same amount in the future. So it's targeting right around 550. So with that target being said, we can still get another attempt at it. So this is all considered the first attempt. Bulls tried one move up higher and failed. We could still see the second attempt, something like this, occur. So it's not over till it's over. This is still looking like we can reach the target. If we break below 360, then that would invalidate it. But I'm not expecting it to do that. I mean, it doesn't want to come down this much and then go back up. I mean, this stock's been pretty wild, between, the 450s and like the 250s. It's just kind of been going up and down the whole time, just a bunch of sideways trading. So I would not be shocked to see this, trend down slightly more lower and then possibly recover from there. Earnings report is next week. It looks like after market close on Thursday. So there's a good chance of adding some volatility to the stock, which it kind of needs. So we'll see what happens. But overall, we need to recover we don't need to recover the bullish trend line, but that'd be nice. We need to definitely break this bearish trend line if you want to expect higher prices. But until then, we just have to wait and see. The picture still looks bullish. It doesn't look like the trend is dead. If anything, you could probably draw maybe a trend line slightly slanted. So we could say we're possibly right, at there. So it depends on how you want to draw it, but I'd say the momentum is still up, and this correction could be over very soon, if not already. So let's take a look at Bitcoin's chart and see what that is doing. So Bitcoin's chart is looking pretty good. So as right now, we have this nice long-term trend line in play here. And then we have a measure move target at 136 and 139. And where did I get that from? If you measure this leg right here, that takes you to 136. And if you measure the more near-term target, or the leg right here, that takes you to 138, 139. So if we did bottom after this drop, let me go and move all the drawings. So you see that price was trading sideways in this consolidation pattern over here. And you could just see how well, price is calculated, or you could say manipulated. It's just stuck between 120 and 117. So yes, we do see wicks out of it, but when it comes time to close the daily candle, it closes within these bounds. So you see how well this is, programmed, or all the algorithms are programmed to run, and traders are looking at the pattern. So perfect. It's almost like it's just continued to be stuck within these bounds. Anyway, so we go from the highs to the lows, lows to the highs. We keep on going back and forth. So now we just hit the lows and we broke out, and now there's a good chance we go up to the highs. That would be the next logical level, back up to 120. Let's see if we get a breakout this time, because we did see a breakout on the bottom. That could lead to a breakout on the top. So overall, just expecting, Bitcoin to move up higher, which most likely will pull uh, these treasury companies higher as well. You draw a trend line across the swing lows. That also fits pretty good. This is the starting point. This is the second touch, third touch. We just got the fourth touch. So overall, I mean, this thing is looking pretty bullish. Whenever a trend is not able to, move down lower, it just stays sideways. That's a good sign for higher prices. Not all the time, but most of the time. So with that consolidation in play, a breakout lower above the EMA, above the trend line, measurement targets at play. I mean, this thing is stacked in favor for more upside. So we'll see how that develops and how that finally helps maybe MSTR breakout. So let's go back to MSTR on the daily chart. So with Bitcoin looking like it wants to move up higher, I'm pretty sure that maybe we have seen the bottom. We can see it move up higher from here. It's not guaranteed, as they don't trade one for one. This could trade a little bit lower while that is moving up higher, and we see some divergence. But overall, I'm expecting higher prices nonetheless. So let's take a look at the weekly chart to wrap up the video. Here's the weekly chart, and the weekly candle was bearish, just like the prior week. And it could be a short trap, as shorts are believing that the price is too high, so they take a short. And in historical, price has shown that we have seen rejection at these levels. So they're betting again that, okay, maybe I'm gonna pick a top and I'm gonna ride it all the way back down to the lows. At the same time, though, bulls are believing that the price is cheap, and they think the price is going to go higher. So that's why you have a market. You have the difference between the belief of participants in the market. So we have this nice bullish trend line in play. Definitely verified, like working really nicely. And you could say we're kind of at that inflection point. We have this nice trend line drawn up here, and we have this horizontal level. So we're like right in between these two converging patterns, as you can see here. We're right here. So it's probably gonna have to make a choice sooner than later. Sometimes, we don't see a huge breakout in either direction, but there's a good chance a breakout is coming, and that earnings report will probably be the catalyst that maybe breaks price out one of these lines. Is it going to break out higher and just continue short squeezing all the shorts to a massive amount, or are we going to break down lower and continue to see this sideways chop? So overall, let's just wait and see. I think we'll have a better idea of after the earnings report, and then we'll go from there. But overall, the long-term trend is still up, and the short-term trend is slightly down, mostly sideways. But overall, still looking pretty good. And then someone asked me, how do I think MSTR can get to $4,000? It's based on the chart, and it's not a random number at all. It's just what the chart is telling me, and it's been pretty reliable. I've been using, obviously the charts for long-term targets, and there's targets that I don't believe that can happen fundamentally. And how would it be possible for that to occur? And then all of a sudden it occurs. Like oil was predicted to actually reach like negative dollars based on a measure move target. And I was like, how is that even possible back in 2020? And it did actually reach the target. So I was like, okay, this thing definitely can happen. So anyway, we have a long-term channel in play dating back to, early 2000s. And you could draw a line across the lows. It's obviously getting a higher low. So the trend is up. We have a low right here. I have a higher low, and a higher low. So the trend is up undeniably. So you can draw a line across the off the lows, and then if you drag it up, you fit a nice channel. So what happened was that we hit the highs. So you could have predicted the highs of 2021. That could have been your top right here, the top of the channel, because you would have these two trend lines, or these two lines, something like this. You would have it like this, most likely. You have it like this, and then you probably drag this one a little bit lower to fit like that. So you would only see this. And then as time goes on, you have more price action, and then you could draw your trend line on the bottom right there. So you have these two lines, and then price starts going up all of a sudden. You're like, okay, well, we could be forming a channel here. It doesn't look complete yet. But now we hit the bottom, we're most likely going up to the highs. And what do you know? Price hits the top, boom, 120, and then it stops, right? We start selling off. And then we come back to the lows of the channel. It's the same line off the lows, and we bottom out over there. And then what happened right here is we hit the top of the channel again. So, the channel would have told you that, okay, maybe we come back down to the lows, something like this. But that did not happen. So you drag this line across. One second, let me fix this. So we hit the top of the channel, just like over here. This time it went down to lows, but this time it did not. It did not go down to lows because that could have been a top, but it didn't. It broke out higher. So that tells me that we are in a steeper channel. So either you can double the channel, like you can double a range because the channel is just a sideways range, or a slanted range, and you drag this up, and that fits pretty good right there. So the prior high of the channel becomes the midline of the new channel, and it's two-tiered. So now it'd be targeting the highs over here, which is right around like 3,000, and if it overshoots so slightly, we get to 4,000. So that's how I got the target. It could take longer to play out than obviously end of this year, but overall the trend is still looking pretty good. It looks a lot more structured than this blow off top right here. This was just months and months of just green action. We're seeing more of a structured approach as of right now. So this has a lot of room to run basically. And if you draw a new channel, this one is still being respected. As you can see here, we're moving at this nice angle. We have the highs and lows fitting pretty nicely. And if you just extrapolate this out, let's say if we get to $4,000, let's put a line across $4,000, which is right about there, give or take, a couple hundred, probably right about there. And then you put a vertical line on where, if the channel continues at this pace, when would it contact 4,000? It would be probably right about here. So sometime maybe mid next year. So that's probably when it can contact 4,000. So if we continue moving at this pace, something like this, boom, it'd be like that. So it could happen sooner or later, but if at the pace we're currently moving at, you can even copy the bars, something like that. If we just keep on doing what we've been doing, it would take about summertime of next year for this to reach $4,000. Now that's if we continue moving at the pace that we're currently seeing, and that's assuming we continue going up at all. But overall, as you can see, like it would take, still probably another year for price to get up to that level. But that's assuming a bunch of things. But the thing about trends is sometimes at the end they get a little bit more wild, and we could see it sooner. We could see something like a climactic climb up, like an exponential move, sooner, and that could be early next year. So instead of mid next year, we could see it early. So that's how I'm getting to the $4,000 level. It's not a random number at all. It's the measure move target. And again, I didn't even show you the target at all, but this is the target right here. You would measure this move up right here. And then let me make this clear. So you can measure a bunch of things on here, but it has to be in a sequence. So for example, this is one large move up higher. You can't deny that. And then we see a drop. So this was the drop. After this large move up higher, you do see this drop right here. So now what you can do is move that line up, and that would tell you where the next possible top can be. And we did actually hit it. We actually exceeded it. So you put a line across, boom, you hit it in 2021, and you add that with the hitting the channel high, so you have two things telling you that the trade or the trend could be over: the channeled high and the measure target. So that was a good top signal right here. Anyway, we dropped down lower. So you see from that measure move target, we dropped down lower, but we still rallied. So now what do you do? What do you measure now? Well, you combine the first two legs together. So you combine this large move up now, like that, and then you bring it over to the bottom of that correction, and that would be the next leg up higher. And that's right around $4,000, give or take a couple hundred. This one is technically saying 4,400, but let's just say 4,000 to round it off. Now, is it guaranteed to get there? No, it's not. But as measure move theory has played out, that's the best guess in the future, is the past move. So if we have moved up this much, there's a good chance we can move up again. And that only takes it to like $1 trillion market cap, which is not much. If Bitcoin triples or quadruples in this bull run, this can easily get to 800,000, 900,000, $1 trillion, or excuse me, 800 billion, 900 billion, $1 trillion market cap. So it's not, impossible. It's a $1 trillion market cap for a company that will hold about 210, $250 billion worth of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. I mean, that sounds pretty good. It doesn't sound anything like insane. And that's where the measurement target is as well. So, I mean, we'll see how it plays out. It's not guaranteed. Obviously, we can top right now and just collapse, but the trend is still looking pretty good. So all I have for MSTR on the daily and weekly charts is Vee Trades, and thank you for your time.